The shrill ring of the phone sliced through the midnight silence like a knife through flesh, jolting Mark from a fitful sleep on the living room couch. He fumbled for the receiver, heart already hammering as if it knew the call was a harbinger. "Hello." His voice cracked, raw from the exhaustion of another evening waiting for Sarah to come home from her late shift at the hospital. "Mr. Harlan? This is Officer Reyes from the downtown precinct." The woman's tone was clipped, efficient, the kind that drilled straight into your gut. "We've located your son, Ethan. He's here at the station, safe, but shaken up. He was found wandering near the Greyhound stop on Elm Street. You need to come down right away." Mark's world tilted. Ethan? Missing? The boy was 9, all gangly limbs and freckles, tucked into bed upstairs just hours ago with a story about pirates and hidden treasure. Mark had kissed his forehead, whispered goodnight, then collapsed here, nursing a beer and the gnawing ache of Sarah's absence. "What do you mean, found?" He's home. This has to be a mistake." "No mistake, sir. Ethan gave us your name and address. Says his mom dropped him off. Hurry please, he's asking for you." The line went dead, and Mark was already moving, shoes slapping against the hardwood as he bolted upstairs. Ethan's room was a tomb of shadows, the Spider-Man sheets rumpled but empty, the nightlight casting a feeble glow on the abandoned stuffed shark. Panic clawed up his throat, hot and metallic. Sarah's car keys were gone from the hook by the door. Her purse vanished from the kitchen counter. No note, no text, just this void, this betrayal of routine. He drove through the rain-slick streets like a man possessed, wipers slashing at the downpour, his mind a whirlwind of fragmented fears. Car accident? Kidnapping? Had Ethan woken up sick, wandered out in a fever dream? But the officer's words echoed. His mom dropped him off. Sarah, with her gentle hands and tired smiles, the woman who'd vowed forever under a canopy of autumn leaves 12 years ago. What the hell had she done? The precinct loomed like a concrete bunker under sodium lights, its doors swallowing him whole. The lobby smelled of stale coffee and despair, fluorescent bulbs buzzing overhead like angry hornets. Officer Reyes met him at the desk, a sturdy woman in her 40s, her uniform crisp, her eyes soft with the weariness of too many family crises. "Mr. Harlan? Ethan's in the family room. He's okay physically, but he's pretty upset." Mark nodded, words lodged like stones in his chest, and followed her down a hallway lined with faded wanted posters. The door creaked open to reveal a small space with mismatched chairs and a table scattered with crayons. There sat Ethan, dwarfed in an oversized sweatshirt that must have been borrowed from Lost and Found, his knees drawn up, fingers twisting the hem. His face, oh God, his face, was streaked with dried tears, eyes red-rimmed and hollow, like he'd aged a decade in the hours since bedtime. "Daddy." The word burst from him like a sob, and Ethan launched across the room, burying his face in Mark's shirt. Mark dropped to his knees, enveloping the boy in a crushing hug, inhaling the faint scent of shampoo and fierce sweat. "It's okay, buddy. I'm here." "What happened? Where's Mommy?" Ethan pulled back just enough to look up, his lower lip quivering. She was yelling on the phone. In the kitchen. I heard her say she couldn't do it anymore, that she needed space." His voice was small, a whisper against the hum of the air conditioner. "Then she came in my room and said we were going for a drive. But we didn't. She took me to the bus stop and told me to wait there, that she'd be back soon. She said if I told anyone, it'd break your heart, Daddy. But I got scared when the rain started. And a nice lady saw me and called the police." Mark's blood turned to ice, veins constricting around the shards of confusion. Sarah had taken him? Left him alone in the storm? Why would she do that, Ethan? Did she say anything else? The boy hesitated, glancing at Officer Reyes, who nodded encouragingly from the doorway. Ethan's shoulders hunched, as if the weight of secrets was too much for his slender frame. "Before the drive. I saw her. In the garage. With a man. They were hugging, Daddy. Like how you and Mommy hug. But he kissed her. On the mouth. I wasn't supposed to see, but I looked out the window from my treehouse." The room spun. Mark's vision blurred at the edges, the crayons on the table blurring into streaks of primary chaos. A man. Kissing Sarah. In their garage, the sacred space of oil changes and bike repairs, where Mark had taught Ethan to hammer nails into scrap wood. Betrayal wasn't a word. It was a living thing, uncoiling in his chest, wrapping barbed wire around his lungs. He forced a steady breath, cupping Ethan's face. You did the right thing telling me, kiddo. This isn't your fault. None of it. Officer Reyes cleared her throat gently. We need to speak with your wife, Mr. Harlan. Has she contacted you? Mark shook his head, numbly pulling out his phone. 3 missed calls from an unknown number, timestamps from an hour ago. He dialed Sarah's cell, straight to voicemail, her cheerful greeting a mockery now. Hey, it's Sarah. Leave a message, and I'll call you back with love. He left none, just pocketed the device and focused on Ethan, helping him color a lopsided police car while the officer stepped out to file paperwork. The drive home was a blur of headlights and Ethan's soft snores in the back seat, exhaustion claiming him at last. Mark's mind raced ahead, piecing together the jagged puzzle. The late nights at the hospital that stretched into dawns. The way Sarah's laughter had faded, replaced by sighs over untouched dinners. The perfumed scarf in the laundry hamper last week, jasmine, not her usual lavender. Trust, that fragile scaffold he'd built their life upon, cracked under the weight of hindsight. How long? Who was this shadow in their garage, stealing kisses from the woman Mark still reached for in the dark? Sarah's car was in the driveway when they pulled up, headlights cutting through the drizzle like accusatory beams. The front door stood ajar, a sliver of warm light spilling onto the porch. Mark carried Ethan inside, settling him in bed with murmurs of safety, then descended the stairs like a man walking to his execution. She was in the kitchen, back to him, pouring wine into a glass with trembling hands. Her blonde hair fell loose, uncharacteristically tousled, mascara smudged like war paint from a battle already lost. She turned at the creak of the floorboard, eyes widening in a cocktail of relief and dread. Mark. Oh God, Ethan, he's okay? The police called me too. I was on my way. On your way from where? His voice was low, a rumble building in his throat. He leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed to hide the shake in his hands. Because according to our son, you dumped him at a bus stop in the pouring rain. After he saw you with some guy in the garage. The glass slipped from her fingers, shattering against the tile in a spray of crimson shards. Sarah gasped, hand flying to her mouth, but not before Mark saw the flicker. The guilt, raw and unfiltered, chasing across her features. Ethan, he saw? Mark, it's not. Not what? Not you cheating on me? Not you lying to our kid? Telling him it'd break my heart if he spoke up. He stepped forward, the words tumbling out now, fueled by the ache blooming behind his ribs. How long, Sarah? How many late shifts were really hotel rooms? That scarf, Jasmine, right? His cologne. She sank onto a stool, shoulders slumping as sobs racked her frame. 6 months. Maybe 7. It started at a conference, Dr. Ellis from cardiology. He listened when I talked about feeling trapped, about resenting the routine. You were always working overtime at the firm, coming home distant, buried in your phone. I didn't mean for it to happen, Mark. It was just escape. Escape. The word landed like a slap, echoing the hollowness he'd felt in their bed for years. He wanted to rage, to hurl accusations like the broken glass at their feet. But instead, a deeper wound opened, the quiet erosion of us. Ethan waited in the rain, Sarah. Alone. Because you needed space to fuck your escape artist? He's 9. He thinks love means pirates and promises, not this. Tears streamed down her face, carving paths through the grime of her makeup. I panicked tonight. We argued. He wanted to end it, said it was tearing him apart too. I drove with Ethan to clear my head, but the fight replayed, and I couldn't face bringing him back here, facing you. I thought I'd circle around, pick him up quick. I'm so sorry, Mark. I love you. I do. We can fix this, counseling, whatever it takes. He laughed, a bitter, hollow sound that startled them both. Love. What a fragile illusion, shattered by a boy's innocent glimpse through a window. Mark's chest tightened, memories flooding in unbidden. Their wedding dance under starlight, Ethan's first steps into his arms, lazy Sundays with pancakes and her head on his shoulder. All poisoned now, tainted by the ghost of Dr. Ellis's lips on hers. Trust wasn't just broken, it was pulverized, dust he could never reassemble. I want to believe you, he whispered, voice fracturing. God, I want to. But every time I look at Ethan now, I'll see him huddled at that bus stop, wondering why his mommy left him behind. And every time I touch you, I'll smell jasmine. Sarah reached for him, fingers brushing his sleeve, but he recoiled, the contact electric with revulsion. Don't. Just don't. He turned toward the stairs, pausing at the threshold. The rain pattered against the window like hesitant applause, underscoring the chasm between them. Tomorrow you pack a bag. Stay with your sister. We'll figure out the lawyers, the custody. For Ethan's sake. Her plea chased him up the steps. Mark, please. But he didn't look back. In Ethan's room, he curled beside the sleeping boy, arm draped protectively over his small form, listening to the rhythm of innocent breaths. Heartbreak wasn't a storm. It was the quiet aftermath, the relentless drip of what-ifs eroding the foundations of a life. As dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving, Mark closed his eyes, wondering if he'd ever sleep without the phantom ring of that phone echoing in his soul.